We were never rattled, ever. Because we're always in the moment, always in the present, always extremely calm, always looking at the reality of the situation and not letting our emotions cloud our execution. I switch my mind to something else. Switch my mode into something else. Stone cold killer. You gotta put yourself in that cage. When I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me. For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius and Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time.
Up before the dawn, ready for Judgment Day. A lethal underdog, walking on to make 'em pay. Woke up feeling dangerous. That stuff so contagious. We got 10 toes down, so let the haters say what they say.
If you ain't orange and brown, you don't matter anyway.
Woke up feeling dangerous. Next time we got that dog check. Found it away, you made the wrong bet. If you're doubting our game, we give our last breath. One more play, and we'll make her know our name. We're ready for Judgment Day. Against the world. My city is on the brink. Tonight we're about to go. I'm hearing the crowd begin to rise in stereo. Sky's bringing Armageddon in off the lake. Thunder rolls, and all the people shouting out a name. Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Cleveland against the world. Watch my city rock. Feel my city roll. Watch my city rock. We go Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. We are Cleveland, born to fight and believe land. We ride or die, hear 'em screaming. Every boy and girl. Every boy and girl.
We are 2-1, and that's the important thing. And I think I was muted. So super chat coming in for John Schlegel, Amy, Andrew. How's it going, guys? Welcome to 2-1. I'm feeling pretty good. How about you, Dad? How are you enjoying that show?
Yeah, that was good. I was a little concerned the first half when we missed on both fourth downs. I think the play calling was suspect. Baker was playing like mediocre, no run game. But the defense, stepped up, stopped. They got the other field goal with a long pass and on the interception we should have gotten. They called pass interference. That was terrible. But they stepped up big time in the second half, 3 and out, and we go down and score. That was huge. I think that sort of set the tone, that put the game away a little bit. Really good on defense. They stepped up. They did what Mike was saying. They had to perform. They did. Myles had a great game. The O-line was, I guess I'd give them a C. They played much better in the second half, but Baker was under a lot of pressure. They didn't roll him out very much. They made him stay in the pocket, and every time it was a dice. Either he gets sacked or he has to run with the ball, one or the other. The running game stepped up in the second half between Chubb and Hunt. That was great. The kicker was nice all day. No issues there. A couple of penalties on the punting game, which are normal, but all in all, I liked the game.
No, it was fun. Mike, what are your thoughts on everything, and specifically your guy JOK on defense?
I jotted down some notes prior to us going live. First and foremost, you might have to call me Nostradamus from now on. I had a feeling. We talked about it all week since Wednesday. The defense did not let me down. 4.5 sacks for Myles, 9 on the day. You mentioned Jock. The kid's like a missile all over the field. He had a half a sack, and speaking of that sack, that wasn't a blitz. That was just pure instinct and then speed on top of the instinct. So, we talked about it in the pregame show, watching these young guys take the next step. And Jock surely did. I have to be honest. I know Delpit was on the field, but, we really didn't hear his name today. Right. But again, I just want to see growth. And not only did we see growth, but, we went from, being vanilla on defense to being rocky road. So if we could continue to, get some exotic looks and confuse these guys like we did today.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit. The offensive line, terrible. All game, just terrible. But, we've seen in years past, the good teams find a way.
Yeah.
And that offensive line gutted it out.
Mm-hmm.
End of the third, fourth quarter. They I don't know if they got together and said, look, it starts now, but we saw a much improved offensive line at the end of the game when it mattered. And Baker was a little off accuracy wise. I don't know if it's the shoulder, it could be. But it is what it is. Overall, he led them to a victory. And what about Chase McLaughlin?
Yeah.
57, 52, 4 for 4. And of course, Justin Tucker has to hit a 66-yarder at the end to.
Yeah, that was terrible. I was just about to go into Mike and say, guess who? The Lions came back and they're up by a point with like 4 seconds. And then I said, wait a second, let me see where Baltimore is. And Baltimore was like on the 50-yard line. And I'm thinking, okay, he's got to make a 55, 58-yard field goal. And turns out to be 66 yards. Holy mackerel.
And I didn't see it. Did it barely go in, or could he have made it?
I didn't see it either. Didn't see it. And then the other kid, I forget who it was, Jacksonville tried a 68-yarder and it failed.
Yeah.
And he ran it back 109 yards.
I did see that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
Crazy stuff happening today.
But that is huge that we have a kicker who can kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, splitting the uprights too. I mean, it
Yeah,
was
they
on
weren't, they
everything.
weren't just inside or whatever. They were right down the middle, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a super chat coming in from Jonathan Schlegel. We never got an apology call for that BS defensive there it is. From that BS defensive pass interference on Ward or Newsome. I think the pass interference he's referring to is on John Johnson. But
And then there was that phantom
sucked.
one. Yeah, there was that phantom one on Ward too. I think they called it defensive holding, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Hey, you know what? If you would have, if I'm a little speechless because it's about time that we have a team that has some intestinal fortitude, and when it counted, they did what they had to do. They executed, and I mean, essentially, it was. I mean, you could call it a blowout if you wanted to. I mean, the offensive stats were just staggering.
The defensive stats on the holding them to the. I think, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we see that they had 1 yard passing?
Yes, 1 yard. I'm looking at the stats right now.
When was the last time an NFL team was held to 1 yard passing?
I mean, probably since the forward pass was legalized.
And one of those passes he completed was an underhand shuffle to a running back.
My
He
God,
had a horrible game.
47.
I think if Nick Foles had played that game, it would have been a different outcome.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot closer. They gave up a victory because he wasn't prepared in order to give him time on the field. And he learned a lot today, I'm sure. And thank God we didn't lose anybody to injuries. We come out healthy. So they lost Mac. Half the game he was in and he was out, he's in, he's out.
Yep.
Which helped us as well. So we played solid on both sides of the ball. Could have played a little solider early when we missed those fourth downs, but we took chances. We could have put two field goals on the board if we wanted to. We chose not to.
Yeah. Really quick, I want to give some shout outs to everybody in chat. Derek Jones, Hambone, Ryan Brown, Keith C, Home Defender 30, Guts. Who else we got in the house? Real Browns fan 32, Andrew Kamenetz. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I hope so. Isaiah Gassina, Austin Gibbons, Joshua Tatum.
Mike, when do you put that bourbon in that Monday morning
Guts.
cup? Right now or Monday morning?
It could have happened right now. I was jumping around and then I changed out of my pink jersey and
Yeah, good.
and then I
All right.
and then I forgot. But it'll definitely be out on for the Wednesday show. No
Hey,
doubt.
All right,
why don't we since I promised this and we have a Victory Monday mug to give away, why don't we give away a Victory Monday mug?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get it going. All right, everybody, put in your numbers 1 to 100 for the Victory Monday mug. Go on the Victory Monday mug. Only get to put in one number, and when I see the numbers have kind of slowed down, then I will draw my number. My number is typed in, so hands off the keyboard, and whoever gets closest will win the Victory Monday mug. But also, the other thing you have to do, if you want to have a chance to win, is you have to click the like button. So click the like button on the video and put in a number for your chance to win a Mike Ristano Victory Monday mug from Cleveland Clothing Co. Mike, I will take that to the grave that you put that mug on the map.
And Mike, feel free to call me anytime.
I knew it.
All right. Is your ringer on, Dad?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think I changed it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so wait a second.
All right, go ahead and call him.
So I'm no detective,
Right.
but so it's not what's going to happen on the other end of the call. It's the noise that the call is going to make.
I'm not giving away anything.
All right. All right. Hold on. Let me dial you up. Hey, how fitting is it that was an NFL record, by the way, that 66-yarder?
Oh,
That's unbelievable.
really? Was that that was it, huh?
Yep.
He deserves it. He's the best kicker of all time. I mean,
All right, here we
They're
go.
pulling out games, right at the end.
You ready for the call?
Yeah.
Let's get the
All right.
call.
I'll mute myself over here so we don't.
Everybody thinks it's something to do with the ringer.
That's what I think, but I guess maybe I'm off. All right, hold on.
I'm about to say, is this call happening?
Not yet.
It's ringing.
And I'm pretty sure my dad's ringer is off. So
I wasn't going to say anything.
all right, let's go ahead and shut off the call. You're 0 for 2, and you get no more phone calls.
That's it.
That's it. You've disappointed me for the
Now-
second
Yeah.
time today.
Here's my
Damn.
question. Here's my question.
Yeah.
You just got to flip that one little button.
Yeah, he doesn't
From-
know how to
from
press.
silent
He doesn't
to
know how to
noise.
press one button. It's way too confusing for him.
So with that being said, since it's over now, was it the ringtone?
It was the ringtone, and it was the "Here We Go Brownies" ringtone.
I knew it. I was gonna. If you didn't say it, I was gonna call it.
We set him
because,
up with the "Here We Go Brownies" ringtone. He's all excited about it. Look at him.
As we know, I predicted that. If you didn't say it, I would have said it because this is my week.
You know, I ruined it
predicting
because I
all.
blew it 2 times in a row.
The best part is, for me on this end, is I get one ring over on my side, and usually by the time you hear a ring, when you're making the call, the ringer's already going on the other side. So
That's amazing.
once it rang once, and then it was silent, I thought, oh boy.
Yeah, I was like, I know he doesn't have it on. Okay, the number was 19, and did anybody have 19? Jason Stopard 16, 21 by Mary. was very
There's a
close.
19.
Is there a 19?
Yep. Isaiah
Who's got it? I don't see it.
Gassino.
Isaiah Gassina with the 19.
Boom.
Good job, Isaiah. Welcome to the winner's circle here, and you get a Victory Monday mug, Isaiah. Send me an email, browniepostgame@gmail.com with your address, and put in the title of that email, Victory Monday mug, so I know that it wasn't a T-shirt or anything.
The
It
other
was-
big upset, the Cincinnati Bengals took care of Pittsburgh.
Hey,
Big
we
time.
called that on the pregame show, didn't we?
Yeah.
I got that as my upset pick 'em.
There you go.
I
So
would
look-
have had the Browns or the Ravens upset too, but they let that 66-yarder go through.
Yeah.
Man, we cemented our flag in the NFL today. This was the polar opposite of the last 2 games. Our offense somewhat struggled, and I don't know if Baker was off or what the deal was, but he seemed a little bit less sharp. It might have been the shoulder, it might have been just an off day, but all in all, he hit OBJ for a whole bunch of plays. I'm gonna pull up the actual stats from Baker.
Most of them were on the sidelines. To the sidelines, he overthrew guys badly, over the top by 10 yards or whatever. The ones over the middle to OBJ and to Hooper and to I don't know who else. Peoples-Jones caught a couple of nice ones early.
Yeah.
So those are okay. But when he missed badly on the
Yeah.
sidelines.
The 2 glaring ones were Felton, which probably would have been 6, and then Bryant might have been 6 there at the end of the game, at least first down.
Right.
Odell Beckham led the team with 5 receptions for 77 yards. Baker Mayfield was 19 of 31, comes back to earth. 246, 1 touchdown, no
No
interceptions.
interceptions though.
Yeah,
No
we'll take that.
interceptions.
But the running today was on offense. It was all about the run. Nick Chubb carried 22 times for 84 yards, and he was only averaging 3.8 because he was getting stuffed. I mean, it was like when Nick Chubb was in, they were like zoning in on him and pushing hard.
What did Hunt get?
Hunt was 10 carries for 81 yards. So an average of 8.1
yards
and
a
1
carry.
touchdown.
Wow. Yeah.
And Kareem Hunt then put on 74 yards off of 6 receptions. So anybody who's got Hunt in there for fantasy
Yeah,
today
he's playing
had a
against me.
game.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose because of that.
Higgins,
I'll take it though.
Higgins had 2 catches for 24. DPJ had 2 catches for 39. Also, Baker Mayfield carried the ball 4 times for 31 yards
Which
on the
they were
ground.
clutch. There was a couple that spin move he put on
Yeah,
That was
that was funny.
that was a nice
The
run.
O button.
Yeah.
But really the defense. I mean, Justin Fields was 6 for 20 for 68 yards. So I don't know where the one passing yard came from. I don't know how that works, but
Well, the sacks probably.
oh
work
yeah, they
against
take it away, right? So
them.
six
How many we have? 7 sacks? 8 sacks? 9 sacks?
total
9.
sacks. We had 9.
9.
9, yeah.
We had it was just incredible. No turnovers in the game. We could have had that turnover if Felton would have been looking on that punt, but
Yeah.
no turnovers on either side. They had 6 first downs. We had 26 first downs. Third down,
What was their efficiency on third down, Mike?
1 for 11.
Wow.
What was the
Oof.
what was the total yards? Was it like 300 and something to 40 or
418 to 47.
yeah, so I knew it was something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bears got to
Just
be hurting. I think
wild.
they put in Nick Foles next week just to give the kid a rest. I don't know who they play, but they can't let him go out on the field again and perform like that. He needs a game plan.
Well, they play the Lions at home.
Ooh,
So,
imagine if the Lions had beat the Bears. I mean, the Ravens. He misses that 66-yarder. They win. They come back. They beat them, and then they go up against the Bears. They would be 2-2. Now they're 0-3, and they could, if they let Fields play. I think the Lions can beat them, and they'll be back in the hunt. I don't think they'll go 0-4.
I have a question for you guys. Looking at Myles Garrett today, 6 tackles, 1 assist, 4.5 sacks, and he should have had a fifth one.
Right.
At the end, he
anyway.
gave Jadeveon a mop up sack there. But hey, Jadeveon's on the stat sheet as well. Dad, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is Myles Garrett the best defensive player that the Browns have ever had?
Best. Certainly on the pass rush. I don't remember anybody rushing the quarterback like he did. Clay Matthews he was just the center, the heart and soul of the Browns. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He played great, mud on his uniform, from top to bottom. He could hit hard. He could intercept. He made key plays to save games. So I'd put him in the same class, but certainly no pass rusher like Myles. We never had a pass rusher like that, who is, sacks back in my day were not that big a deal until what's his name from the Giants came along.
Yeah.
And
Lawrence Taylor.
yeah, so Taylor.
Jay Zeman said William Dean Perry. I think he meant
he was good.
Michael Dean Perry.
Yeah, he only played for a short time. He could be controlled. I think he came out of Clemson, or he came out of.
Yeah, I think he's Clemson.
Clemson. And he was great. I liked him. He's the Fridge's brother.
Yeah.
William
Perry's his brother.
Yeah.
Jay. But yeah, it was close though.
Yeah. So they gave him the ball a couple of times, on the 2-yard line, and he ran it in, and he was fun to watch. But he wasn't as dominant as Myles, that's for sure.
Yeah, Mike, what about you? Is there anybody that comes to mind on the defensive side of the ball that you would put in that same class, or say was a better defensive player than Myles Garrett?
No, I can't think of anybody. I'm sure that there's some guys that maybe were missing during the 7 championship run.
Right.
But in the modern day, forward pass, the way it is today in the NFL, and yeah, I've never seen somebody on the Browns that could just impose their will, the way that he can. I was surprised that they really never rolled any help over to his side today. I was surprised about that, but the interesting part too, though, to that question is, he's so young, and we're just
Yeah.
I mean, if
that's
he
it.
has more days like today, I mean, you could see him break the sack record. I mean, that it's not far fetched to think that it's a possibility. And I don't want to put any more pressure on him, but I mean, he's just he's a show out there.
Was the Bears line that bad? I mean, their O line that they couldn't stop him or anybody else. I mean, at times they look great in stopping Chubb
Yeah.
running, and
I-
then their O line anyway.
Yeah.
But
I think we just confused them with those different looks, really.
yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if, and maybe the all 22 will be back this week. Who knows? But I'll have to watch the condensed again. But I just thought they were totally different look on defense. They're what they did today, they didn't show anywhere in the first two games. So
No.
I found that interesting. And and I don't know if it's because it was designed to be that way, or Joe Woods just had a different comfort level going into this week.
Well, he knew he was going up against a rookie who wasn't like Burrow or even Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he knew that he could take advantage if he could get his guys to play up to that level. And they certainly did. And the kid just did not perform. He looked like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay back there for very long for a 10 drop, 10 step drop. His look how many passes he threw with 3 steps, and he still couldn't complete them either.
Yeah.
I mean, so he had a bad day. He had a really bad day.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hopefully we see more of this defense.
I mean, I can't wait for the PFFs on this defense because everybody.
Got to be off the charts. Got to be off the charts.
Yeah,
You know what's going to be funny is they're going to be off the charts, and then we're going to be crying when we get to the offensive line side of it.
Yeah.
The offensive line. I mean, Batonio with holding calls.
Yeah.
There were the one. I mean, Baker kept getting sacked. I mean, and Baker's not feeling great, and the fact that they let him get hit like that, there is something wrong with Jedrick Wills. There is something wrong with him. I mean, Baker Mayfield got sacked, and they showed on the replay. Jedrick was just standing there, not moving, not even trying.
Yeah,
So
the guy
there
got
is
around him and just
clearly
botched.
something wrong with him.
I think that was the one on the botched snap, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well,
no excuse.
They had it. That came down to there was no time left on the play clock.
Yeah.
Right. They botched it from start to finish.
Yeah.
The other thing was last week, Stefanski specifically said after he got hurt, I called plays so he wouldn't get hit.
Yeah.
I rolled him out. I handed off, etc. I was screaming in the first half about there's no plays to the tight end. It took him almost the entire first half to throw a little dinky pass to Hooper over the middle, and then he followed it up a couple of plays later with a nice pass over the middle to Hooper for the touchdown. But beyond that, there was very little to the tight ends.
Yeah, I mean the stats. David Montgomery, 10 carries, 34 yards. They couldn't do anything. Allen
Right.
Robinson had two catches. I mean that guy's good, and he's just not getting used. I mean,
Yeah.
Allen Robinson is talented, and he's not getting anything. Who's the guy? Was it Cole Kmet? Mike,
Yeah.
who you were saying that we were hoping? Yeah, 1 catch, 11 yards.
Yeah. They shut him down.
I mean, they just. It felt like the Browns were playing a JV team on offense, like when the Browns were on defense. They didn't even look like when they got the ball they wanted to be out there.
Yeah, I think Ward is going to have some good stats. He was all over most of his receivers that he had to cover. I didn't hear Greedy Williams' name mentioned once. Did you?
No, I don't even know if he was on the field.
From a
They didn't mention his name very much
Yeah.
either.
You know what
Greedy didn't show up in the stat line.
No, you know what I really liked, and I think you guys would agree with me, is so Fields is a rookie, obviously, but he's cut from that same cloth in terms of he could beat you with his arm, but he's fast and elusive, and he could beat you with his legs as well. And as you guys know, I mean, we've got that in Lamar, and we have to worry about Mahomes. And the one thing I thought today that I found really impressive, and I hope it continues, is the team speed that we were showing
Ooh.
when he got out of the pocket. I mean,
Right.
there were times where it looked like he was getting ready to round it and turn the corner. And then it was like white jerseys just came out of nowhere. And it's been
Yeah,
a
Myles.
long time since we had sideline to sideline speed.
Right.
And we've got it in droves now.
Yeah, Miles got it once when he was around the corner. Miles regrouped, went after him, and just tripped him up. Tripped him up for a sack, and that would have been a first down probably. So,
Yeah.
and the only one he got out of really for anything was the 48-yard penalty. He was able to heave it down there. He hit the guy, he's close to him. Our guy pushes off slightly and makes the interception, and they call it against us. Yeah, that was a bad call.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. Jay Z-Man says Fields doesn't know the playbook. It looked to me like he wasn't prepared, or that they didn't put him in a position to win with what they were doing. I mean, it just looked like he was a deer in headlights. And I can't remember the last time. I mean, I can't remember a quarterback performance like that, even when we had bad quarterbacks on the Browns.
Yeah, I didn't expect this at all.
Yeah,
at all.
I'm trying to think of who the worst Browns quarterback that we had. Like, we're thinking about like Thad Lewis was better than this.
You know what's funny though, Mike? You and you might
No
remember this,
disrespect to
but
Thad Lewis.
no, absolutely. On the Wednesday show, we were talking about the quarterback situation, but I distinctly remember you mentioned something. You went to the stats from last week against the Bengals, and you were like, well, if you look at the stat line, he was in there for X amount, and he wound up passing for 50 yards or something like that, and interception. And I mean, if you thought that he would do worse than last week, I mean, I wouldn't have believed you.
I never. He was 6 for 13 for 60 yards and an INT, and the INT that he threw was ugly too. I mean, it was like he had no. He was right over the middle, and he didn't see the guy at all and threw it right at him. Yeah. And I mean, Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence right now. Honestly, other than Mac Jones, this whole quarterback class that everybody thought was going to be the greatest thing ever, with Zach Wilson and Trey Lance and Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence and then Mac Jones, this is they're off to a terrible start. I will say this, because Baker's class with really the only one who's been a complete disaster was Rosen. But with Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold is off to a 3-0 start, and then Baker Mayfield, obviously. I mean, that class is looking good, but they thought this was going to be a better class, and these guys are just stinking it up.
Yeah, well, they're playing on pretty lousy teams too. So, the Bears had some, but they clearly did not show up to play today. We knew Cincinnati is struggling with both sides of the ball.
Rick Atkins says Spurgeon Wynn played better than Fields.
Yeah.
Jonathan Schlegel coming in with a super chat. We had bad QB recently. We had a bad QB recently. Anyone recall Deshaun Kaiser? We all remember Deshaun Kaiser, and I would at this point, Kaiser is off to a better start after this many games than Justin Fields, and Deshaun Kaiser didn't win a game for us. Obviously.
You know what's funny? If you said to me, give me one memory of Deshaun Kaiser, the only thing that I could think about.
Can I guess it?
Me too. I gotta guess.
There's one play.
Yes, so you're gonna guess the one play, but then there's one other thing that
I can name them both. I can name them both.
All I think of.
I can name them both. Number one is the drop pass to Coco. The drop pass in the Steelers game.
Yes.
And the second one is the guy that when they zoomed in on his mom, after he threw the interception, he zoomed in on his mom, and the guy's going, drinking the beard.
Yep.
That's
it. That's the only two things I can remember about his stint on the Cleveland Browns.
That's all that I just remember. Those are the two things. It's I forgot about Deshaun Kaiser. We were so excited about him. My dad and I saw him in preseason, and he played well in preseason.
Horrible team, I mean,
Bad
Tim
coaches,
Couch, one of the guys in chat said, I think it was Jay, said, his first 7 games for Tim Couch. To be honest with you, I can't remember his first. And if I went,
I remember his first game against the Steelers where he threw the interception. I was like, oh.
And he threw the long touchdown at the end of the game against the Saints, and he won that game.
Yeah,
Hail
to
Mary.
KJ.
That's the only thing I remember about Tim Couch. But he put up some halfway decent numbers for a while.
You know, Tim Couch, there are people out there that still think Tim Couch was a quote unquote bust. If you look at how the cards were stacked against Tim Couch and how long he played for us, how many games he won, he took us to the playoffs one time, even though he was injured and couldn't really perform in it. But Tim Couch wasn't as bad as people remember. We were just a bad team.
Yeah.
And I would blame more of that on Courtney Brown and Gerard Warren for being busts than Tim Couch. Tim Couch did as good as he could, so. But I mean, here's the thing, when we think about Baker so far this year, has Baker lit it up in terms of his stats? No, but he doesn't have to, right? He doesn't have to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. He doesn't have to do that.
Win the game.
You put any quarterback, and again, like you think back to Tom Brady early on in Tom Brady's career. Now, I'm not going to say Baker's going to have the same career as Tom Brady. Obviously, that's ridiculous to say. But if you look back to the early days of Tom Brady, I mean, he wasn't lighting it up either. They were winning with defense then. And for the Browns, if our defense can hold, I've said it all along, if our defense holds teams under, well under 20 points, we're going to win a lot of games because we're going to score more than 20 points a lot with this offense. And for the kicker to put up 14 points today,
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that are now, they're talking Phil Dawson level excitement right now out of the kicker. Mike and I were texting during the game, we've got a guy who can kick field goals now.
Yeah, well, put a season together, not a game or 2 games or 3, and put it together in clutch situations, in the wind, in the snow, bad field, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I'll talk about Phil Dawson. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Phil Dawson kick in the snow was very memorable. That was his one play.
Let's put it this way.
Luke Rosa, the greatest kicker of all time, and Cleveland Browns.
Other than Tucker. I mean, that dude is.
Yeah, he
just
put himself in the history books, and the other kid with the 109-yard return, he's in the record books for life because nobody can beat that, I don't think.
Yeah. If today is any indication of what we're going to get out of this kid, I'm buying it because that's what I mean.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And he was shaky, if you remember, that first game or whenever it was. And
Sure.
And
he kicked a couple of end over ends today as opposed to knuckleballs,
Yeah.
So
Short memory. It's good. We'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, we had, our other kickers that we've kicked out. So, Austin Siebert's missed kicks, Greg the Leg. Is Zane Gonzalez still in the league?
Yep. He plays for
Is he the Lions or is that
I just saw
is
him.
that Greg the Leg?
I can't remember who he plays for.
And then, but I mean, we've got some guys who we just could not make it, on the Browns who have gone on to remain in the league.
Right.
But now we actually got a guy that, I mean, dare I say, I have confidence in our kicker.
Yeah.
From
Got the leg.
range.
And how about this? When I can't remember where we were in the preseason where he missed a 57-yarder by a foot.
Right.
And remember we were talking, Mike, and you were like, well, we know his range is under 57.
Yeah, 55 yards.
Or 55, whatever it was. And that was in the dome. And, I don't know how windy it was at the stadium today.
That was away from you in the dog.
Yep.
So and that seems to be the way that the wind comes off the lake that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had the wind.
Yeah. So go figure.
Yeah. I mean, that kid, he gets a lot of credit today. I mean, him and Myles Garrett, the two kind of MVPs, and then Kareem Hunt. I mean, just playing out of their damn minds. Somebody said on Twitter, Joe Woods, I guess it looks like Joe Woods actually decided he wanted to keep his job.
Yeah.
They showed Stefanski giving him a hug at the end. I mean, that was as good a game as you can do. And And this is the thing that we've been saying the whole time. We talk about it in the pregame show. We talk about it in the postgame show. We talk about it on the Wednesday show. It is, you got to put pressure on the opposing quarterback. Now, the big thing that I was afraid of today, and it started off like this, was we were going to over pursue, and then Justin Fields is going to be able to run like crazy on us, right? And he didn't. And
Nope.
if this is the defense, I think this defense that showed up today can beat any team in the NFL. Hands down, they can do it. So we showed today that we have the talent. Now, is Myles Garrett going to get 4.5 sacks every game? No. Right? So this was by far. And by the way, those fans at the stadium who were doing the Myles Garrett clap, 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 chant, that was awesome. That was awesome to hear come through the speakers. I can't remember ever hearing in not in the colleges, you hear that stuff like we are, Penn State, they do that kind of stuff. But I've never heard an NFL stadium chanting a player's name like that. And he earned that chant. My God, did he earn that thing?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, guys. Who has the advantage next week in Minnesota? Is it Stefanski going back knowing enough about Kirk Cousins, or is it Kirk Cousins in Minnesota knowing enough about Stefanski?
Me personally, I think midweek is going to be a key for us in that game. And the only reason I say that is because Dalvin Cook is out today. He has a bad ankle, and he didn't practice all week. So that'll be an interesting, development as we go. I mean, if Minnesota is without him and they've got Madison back there, I think we're going to win the game anyway. But I mean, that really, really ups the chances.
Yeah, I think Stefanski wants to win that game badly in Minnesota. So it'll be interesting.
I'm sure it does. And Mike, who were you saying that might be out?
Dalvin Cook was out today, or will be out today.
Because he was with COVID, right?
No, he's got an ankle.
Oh, it was an ankle injury? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I thought it was COVID related because I have him on my other fantasy team and I had him playing, and then I got a message in the middle of the Browns game that Dalvin Cook is ruled out. So
Yeah.
I had to drop Sutton in my other league because I didn't have anybody else, and I couldn't go into a game without a running back.
Yeah.
So I picked up Barber. It was the only guy that was who had an afternoon game who could get any production. So
Black Spider says he's a Bears fan and he likes our show.
So
nice.
I just saw this, and I didn't even hear about it, but apparently Greg Newsome had a walking boot after the game, and Stefanski said that he'll get an MRI. On Monday.
He definitely came out of the game. I think Jake Trotter said it. Somebody in the media tweeted out that he was taken into the locker room, which is a problem. That's not good because he played a hell of a game.
Yeah.
In a walking boot is not good. That signals like high ankle possibly.
Yeah, I hope not. I didn't even see that he went down.
I didn't either. I thought we got through it unscathed.
Yeah, and the other thing that I saw that is interesting, and it's par for the course, was the play before Tucker hit that field goal. The play clock had expired by at least 2 seconds.
Oh, and then somebody else posted
The play clock. Wait, hold on. The play clock on the kick.
No, on the play before it to get them into field goal range.
Oh, freaking NFL! They love the Ravens.
And on that drive, they had him 3rd and 19 or 4th and 19, and they converted to keep the drive alive. Wow!
I got to tell you though, from a Brown standpoint, this Newsome development has me worried.
That's not good. Yeah.
No, because I mean, for all intent and purpose, we're kind of thin out there.
Well, we may have to see Greedy. Might be Greedy time. Greedy's working his way back in, one injury at a time. The good thing is we do have Greedy, and I don't think Greedy is. I mean, he's not the worst backup option in the league, right? So we have had worse. We played with Sendejo last year.
Who do we have in the practice squad that moves up?
I know AJ. Is AJ Green
AJ's on the active roster.
He's on the roster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may say him. They picked up Davis too, which was nice. The wide receiver,
Yeah,
put
Davion.
him on the practice squad. He cleared waivers.
Yeah, the somebody took a picture of the scoreboard where they had the total yards with 51 and when the Browns had 409. My God, I mean that tweet. I'll go ahead and retweet that one from Cornhole Goat, whose phone I'm sure is just blowing up right now with 44 retweets.
Yeah, AJ Green is on the 53.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be unfortunate because Greg had a good game today too. He was looking like he was playing really well, so I hope it's nothing serious. OBJ coming back too and playing pretty well, being a very consistent OBJ,
Solid game.
I'm sure he would have loved to cap it off with a touchdown there where he threw to Austin Hooper, but hey, a touchdown's a touchdown, and a win is a win. And today our defense and special teams, specifically the kicker, were the game. I mean, those two units won the game, and our offense did enough. That when Kareem Hunt broke that off for the touchdown, I was like, it's over. We're good now. So yeah, I mean, it feels really good to be 2-1 right now.
Yeah.
It will be. I don't think. So the Texans gave us a pretty good effort, and we happened to figure out, how to win offensively. I am interested. My dad and I are going to watch the 4:00. We're going to watch the Seahawks game here, just to see kind of how that's going. Just looking now, trying to look at the scores.
How about this stat? The Bears averaged 1.1 yards per play, the second fewest by any team in a game this century.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
And everybody is tweeting out about and when I say everybody, the blue check marks, how they blew that delay a game at the end of the Ravens game.
Ooh, yeah.
That's unfortunate. I mean, the Ravens were they got lucky against Kansas City. They got lucky last week, and they got lucky again this week. It's just at some point. At some point that's going to run out. God knows. I mean, it took us 20 years, but eventually our bad luck ran out, and now the Ravens are.
Yeah, I took a quick look. I ran across the bottom. I think Jackson did not have a very good game.
No, I mean, they very well could be 0-3.
Lamar Jackson today was 6 of 31, 287, one touchdown, one interception, 58 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
It's a pretty like Lamar Jackson 16 completion type day for him.
Against the Lions,
Yeah. I mean, that play keeps coming up. Every time I scroll, that play comes up with the play clock. It's driving me crazy.
Well, is the play clock the TV play clock or the actual play clock? Or is that synced somehow?
If it's not, honestly, it's literally. Hold on a second. When it comes back, I'll. So you ready? So 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Snap. So it can't be that off.
Right. They should have called it. That should have been a flag.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. So the Seahawks are beating the Vikings 10-7 at the end of the first quarter. Vikings, Kirk Cousins is 5 for 5, 62 yards and a TD. Kirk Cousins is going to throw the ball. Kirk Cousins is not going to do what Justin Fields did. He will get rid of it. He will throw the ball, and they will find a way. The problem will be if Kirk Cousins is without Cook. That is a big difference, and that's a good thing.
I feel like the NFL on CBS is listening to the Brownie postgame show, and the reason why I say
they
that
easily could be.
Trevor Lawrence is the first quarterback to throw 7+ interceptions in his first 3 career games since guess who?
Kaiser?
Deshaun Kaiser, 2017.
That's not good for the first overall draft pick. I mean, Deshaun Kaiser was second round pick?
Too much. He's trying to put it all on his shoulder. The one that he got the 6 pick 6 on, we saw on the highlights. He threw off his back foot in desperation, trying to get at the guy. It didn't get there. The guy cut in front, right down the sidelines. Boom. He's trying to do too much. I mean, one guy cannot win a football game when you have that poor of a team. They've got to develop a better strategy for him, and it's tough. It's tough to do that. We've struggled through it for 20 years. They're not going to fix that in 3 or 4 or 5 games with Trevor Lawrence at quarterback.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Burrow did really good as a until he got hurt last year. He did really good. I was impressed with him.
Yeah.
The few games that he played, and then he got hurt. And he's doing okay, I guess, this year. But as Mike pointed out when we were chatting, he doesn't have the mobility that he had the first year. That injury, I don't know if he's got a brace on it or what, but he's not likely to be doing too much running anymore, I don't think, with that injury behind him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what happens. It doesn't take much for running players, running quarterbacks to, to have that happen. I wouldn't say if Joe Burrow is necessarily a running quarterback, but he's not. He was an athletic guy. He's going to open up some stuff, but Lamar Jackson has been able to somehow avoid the injury bug. He's been a lot more durable than I thought his body and his frame would do. But I mean, statistically speaking, guys with that body type, how lengthy he is and how much he runs, they don't last very long. And, good for a couple years, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, look what happened to Michael Vick. I mean, he got hurt. He ran too much, probably. He's got some records, I think, out there as a running quarterback, and he was great in college. He could maneuver, and he was great in his first couple of years. Then he went to jail for dog fighting for a while.
Yeah.
I lost really a good couple of years of competitive football.
Yeah, but he got rolled over, and it's just, he rolled over and broke his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I gotta say, Joe Woods was obviously listening to us.
He gets a game
complaining.
ball.
Yeah, he does.
Game ball to Joe Woods, game ball to Chase McLaughlin, game ball to Myles Garrett, game ball to Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Good players. I'm trying to think, like, offensive line needs to shape up a little bit. That was bad. It wasn't their best performance. It wasn't terrible. I mean, they did open the hole for Kareem Hunt to go blast off to the end zone. So it's tough to say, it's tough to say like they were bad, but
It was a typical Browns game. We wear them down, even though we don't do tremendous in the first half with those runs and whatnot. By the second half, our offensive line is holding up. They're in good shape. They start, and then between Chubb and Hunt with the cutbacks and whatnot, they were able to do what they needed to do to win the game.
there's 68,000 views on this tweet from Ben Roethlisberger throwing this little pass. I think he threw an interception on it.
I'm watching that right now.
And he just falls down like thunk. I'll retweet it just so everybody can see it.
He threw right at that guy.
What was his stats, Mike?
Oh, it was horrible.
It wasn't good. I will tell you that. Ben Roethlisberger today was 38 for 58. They are having him throw. You know why? Because Najee Harris carried 14 times for 40 yards, an average of 2.9.
And here's a better one, Mike. How many attempts did he have?
58.
19 of those went to Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, for 14 receptions.
Little ding passes.
Najee Harris touched the ball 28 times
Wow.
today. And, not bad. He had 102 yards off of 14 receptions. Okay. But Joe Schobert leading their defense with 4 tackles and 1 assist.
How about since we're taking a little stroll around the league, how about early in the Dolphins game, they're on the 2-yard line. They take the snap in the end zone, throw a screen, and then get tackled for the safety.
They threw a wide receiver screen pass
in the end zone.
And just got stuffed.
Yeah.
That is an unacceptable play call.
No.
Unacceptable.
Was that Tua who did that?
No, Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, that's a Freddie Kitchens play right there.
That's Fred. Yeah, Freddie dialed it up. The Bills today worked Washington 43-21.
Good.
The Panthers obviously won the game on Thursday. Chargers took care of the Chiefs 30-24. Wow.
Nice.
Cardinals worked the Jaguars, although the Jaguars were up. And then right after Trevor Lawrence threw that pick six, it was all downhill for the Jags.
Right.
We took care of the Bears, obviously. You got the Titans took care of the Colts. Looks like pretty easily, 25-16. The Saints, I guess, upset the Patriots, 28-13.
Yeah, I didn't have
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Falcons hung on against the Giants, 17-14.
Good.
Bengals beat the Steelers. Ravens beat the Lions. And then currently speaking, middle of the second quarter for the 4 o'clock games, the Broncos are beating the Jets 10-0. Let me check into that one. I want to see Zach
Hey,
Wilson. Zach
what's
Wilson's 8 of
What's
13.
Wilson's stats so far, Mike?
8 of 13,
Oh,
42 yards, no touchdowns, and no interceptions.
okay.
For
Can-
And a
Zach
little bit better
Wilson.
than last week.
Can I just say, we were watching 2 different plays, Mike, and I actually saw the play that you were talking about where he fell down,
He just went.
and what I watched was funny, but this is, yeah,
Yeah, it. I think Ben's best days are clearly behind him,
Yeah.
and I think I'm telling you guys, and Mike, you and I talked about this on the Wednesday show. I think the scary game this year. I don't think that we have 2 automatic wins against the Bengals this year. I do not. I think the Bengals are going to play us tough, and they have a better offense than I think a lot of people will, believe.
Mhm.
And I think the Steelers are going to be the easier wins this year, but they're the Steelers. So, it's like when you play a rivalry game, they those guys step up. They want to win those games too. And, we're clearly now taking a step towards really starting to dominate in the division. And, one nail was in the coffin last year when we beat them twice in a row and once in the playoffs. I mean, that's really bad for them historically. And now this year, Ben's not playing well. They're in last place in the division. They're the only team in the AFC North who's in last place because we're all the rest. Bengals and Ravens and us are tied with 2-1.
yeah.
But out of that, we have the best offense. We've scored 86 points, and we've given up 60. So we are, in terms of points we can put up and points against, we have the best spread there. So I think we're probably, if you're just looking at from the neutral standpoint, we're probably the top team in the AFC North,
Yeah.
as it currently speaks, which is great. This is the one thing that we had last year that was a problem. Is the amount of points that we were negative. So we couldn't score the points on offense to keep up with the amount of points that the defense was giving up. And this year we are currently we've scored 86 and points against we've only given up 60. So from that we're trending in the right direction. Those are the things that we had to do to get to that championship level, to really step it up and move up there. So, well, hey guys, we've been at it for an hour, and we got some 4 o'clock games to watch and some dinner to eat. We can enjoy this 2-1 victory here. We gave away our Victory Monday mug.
Yeah, get to enjoy it tomorrow.
Isaiah Gassina, please send me an email with your address. We can get you out that Victory Monday mug. And we will see you guys at a little after 7 o'clock on Wednesday for the Wednesday show with me and Mike Ristano, where we will go through, and Dad, I promise you, we will go through the PFF scores. And I have a new plan for the PFF scores. We're going to do it in a more dynamic way this week on the Wednesday show. So we will see you guys on Wednesday, and go Browns.
Go Brownies.
Go Browns.
Brownies.